Is that the win that's going to keep us up? Oxford fans, have we done enough, or is there still more work to do? But whichever way about it, yesterday was a fantastic day and a fantastic win. Welcome back to the channel. It's time for another review of another Oxford United game. Yesterday, Oxford played away at Sheffield Wednesday. After that miserable defeat on Wednesday night to Queen's Park Rangers, Oxford were once again looking for a response from their players as we travelled away from home to Sheffield Wednesday. We know that away from home we've been pretty much useless this season, but maybe you sensed that it was a right time to play Sheffield Wednesday, with them kind of coasting in the mid-table with nothing to play for, and with their off-the-field issues as well. You kind of felt that maybe this was a game that was there for the taking. And during the game, I certainly felt, and certainly as we got into the second half, that this game was there for the taking. And finally, eventually, Oxford took this game. And it was fantastic to see Sam Long getting the winning goal and Oxford boy scoring an all-important goal for Oxford United, because this one finished Sheffield Wednesday 0, Oxford United 1. At other points in the season, we've played away against teams and they've been tight games, and you felt Oxford have done enough to nick them, but we haven't nicked them. I'm thinking of Derby away, I'm thinking of Plymouth away, Stoke away, Preston away. But today, or yesterday in fact, Oxford did finally get another away win on the board. Both sides had chances, both sides had periods of the game where they were on top, but I think largely overall, and this may be my yellow-tinted glasses talking, I think Oxford deserved to win the game today. But let's just quickly run over the incidents that happened in this game. First chance of the game fell to Oxford, and it was Will Vaulks against his old club. Bradshaw doing well in the hold-up play, got the ball back out to Vaulks, and Vaulks took a little side-footed effort, which from my vantage point looked like it was very close. You see it on the highlights, it actually curled into goalkeeper Charles, who made quite a comfortable save. I thought it looked a much better, a much closer chance for Vaulks than maybe it seemed on the highlights. But Cumming was forced into action from Masaba probably like 20 minutes into the game, something like that. Wednesday were looking quite dangerous down the flanks, and it was Masaba who got in on Oxford's left-hand side. Good effort, sharp effort. It's a save you'd expect Cumming to make, getting down to his right-hand side, but it was a good, smart save by Jamie Cumming to keep Masaba out. The next chance was another one from my vantage point, which I just do not know how this didn't go in. Brannigan getting on a loose ball after a free kick was cleared. He has fizzed back in a shot, straight as a die, straight as an arrow, and I thought it just gone into the back of the net. You heard all the Oxford fans cheering on the replay, on the highlights, only for it then us to realise it had gone wide of the goal and not in the goal. But my goodness, what a hit from Branners, just inches wide of the post. But Wednesday were still moving the ball well and did look dangerous when they came forward. Their approach play was really good, but more often than not, their final ball or their final shot was pretty wayward. And this is cased in point here from Masaba, who missed maybe the best chance of the game, certainly the best chance for Wednesday. It was a bit of a sitter, really. It was well worked. Again, on their right, Oxford's left, a ball right over to the other flank. Masaba in acres of space. You thought all he has to do is just cushion the ball into the back of the net, and he's made an absolute Horlicks of it and put it miles over the bar. Bit of a let-off for Oxford, but it was Oxford who had the final chance of the first half, working the ball well down the right-hand side. Mills and Matos linked up really well all the way through the first half, really, and it was Matos who got the ball into Goodrum. It was a good run across goal from Goodrum, and he got a good strike on goal. Well saved from Charles. The rebound came bobbling out to Brannigan, and Brannigan made a bit of a mess of the follow-up. Should have done much better. It was quite a difficult chance in the end, but you would have expected Brannigan to at least hit the target, and it was another really good opportunity for Oxford to go into the lead at half-time. But as I said, it didn't, and it ended 0-0 at the break. And yeah, it did feel quite even. I'd still say at times you felt Wednesday were cutting through Oxford a little bit too easily from open play. They looked like they had a lot of space to attack Oxford down the flanks, and they got into some really dangerous areas on quite a number of occasions, but just could not produce that final bit of quality when needed. The usual problems for Oxford. There were times where we got penned in and you struggled to wonder How are we going to get out? How are we going to get a foothold in the game? And really the main route to goal from Oxford, other than, of course, set pieces, was down the right-hand side, where I thought that Mills and Matos combined really well. Matos was exceptional all afternoon to get Oxford up the pitch and drive forward, and Oxford looked the most dangerous when those two were combining. But being level at the break is certainly no problem for Oxford United with our dismal away record, and Rowett's blueprint for victory seems to be keep it tight and nick something wherever we can. And so far, that is going to plan. We've just got to try and nick that goal. Second half, I thought Oxford were the better side. I thought they started the second half on the front foot. They allowed Wednesday to get back into it, or Wednesday came back into it. Ingleson blazed their best chance over the bar in the second half. Wasn't the best chance of the game. That was Masaba's in the first half. It was their best chance in the second half. Kind of similar, really. Got space on the left-hand side. It should have done better with the chance, but put it in well high and wide into the cop. That was during a little period where Wednesday were well on top of Oxford, and Oxford was struggling once again to clear their lines and get a foot on the ball, and it just felt like wave after wave of Wednesday attacks, but they could not really force coming into any saves, and eventually Oxford kind of wrestled a bit of control back, a change of shape, a change of formation, and Oxford started to really pin Wednesday back. There was a massive shout for a penalty in the second half, and I really don't know why Oxford weren't given a penalty here. It did look like a blatant handball after a Goodrum shot hit the arm of a Sheffield Wednesday player. I'm not sure if the referee couldn't see it, but surely the linesman would have had a good view of it to give that penalty. We just don't seem like we're ever going to get a penalty this season. You know, as soon as we get one, we're probably going to miss it. But it'd be nice to just get one. But Oxford were piling up the pressure, and in usual Oxford fashion under Rowett, we were piling up pressure mainly through set pieces, mainly through corners, mainly through long throw-ins. Charles did really well to deny Ben Nelson from scoring his first Oxford goal with a good tip over from a corner. But with 10 minutes to go, well, 11 minutes to be precise, Oxford finally got their goal. Of course, it had to come from a Will Vaulks long throw. It was launched into the near post. And it was actually two Wednesday players going for the same ball. One Wednesday player doing a pretty good flick on for Oxford United, because it went all the way to the back post. And there was Sam Long to nudge it in, to head it in from about 2 yards. Wild celebrations in the away end. Wild celebrations from Sam Long. These celebrations from Sam Long, this picture showing Sam Long celebrates, just shows you exactly what it meant to him, exactly what it meant to the fans, and exactly what it meant to Oxford United. And I would say from that point, Oxford did not look like losing that game. They were in pretty comfortable, pretty controlled. Wednesday really could not get up much of a head of steam. And Oxford saw the game out to seal a massive victory, a huge victory. And in my opinion, I think that's the victory that has put us safe. If there are any Sheffield Wednesday fans watching this, I'd be really interested to know your thoughts on the game and your thoughts on the state of your club at the moment. Let's just talk on the field. It's been a strange season where you've really struggled at Hillsborough, particularly in this second part of the season, particularly since New Year's Day, where you've only won one game. I think that actually came on New Year's Day. Yes, you've really, really struggled at home, and you could kind of tell it was a home fans that there was a lot of apathy around the ground, or quite quiet for large periods, just kind of almost as if you've seen this script play out a number of times before. Where Wednesday had some pretty good approach play. I thought the general passing around between the defence, between the midfield going forward was pretty good. I thought the likes of Gassama and Masaba caused problems out wide. Windass and Armstrong linked up well with them. Didn't really get too many chances into Patterson, because I thought that's where you really let yourselves down, was that final cross, that final through ball, that final pass, or with the case of Masaba and Ingleson in the second half, that final shot at goal. And because you didn't take your chances, you just gave Oxford more and more confidence that they might nick something from this game. And I know Danny Roll said you kind of tired towards the end. Maybe you did, because it did feel like Oxford were kind of getting more and more on top, and then eventually we got that goal. I thought once we changed shape, I thought once you weren't able to get down the sides, I thought you really struggled to kind of break Oxford down. And so I thought once you didn't have the option to kind of go down the wings, it really kind of stifled Wednesday. And I really didn't really feel like you were going to score a goal. But I would also say you looked pretty suspect at the back. I would say all the way through the game, you looked like you could be vulnerable from the balls being played into the box. And so Oxford would have definitely got confidence from that eventually we might have got a goal. And also, you certainly did miss Barry Bannon in that midfield as well. Maybe he just would have galvanised things, added that bit of quality when quality was needed. And it certainly was nice from an Oxford point of view to not see him in the starting 11. But certainly on the field, yes, it's been a disappointing second half to the season where you've been looking to maybe get in the playoffs, and that's kind of really tapered away now. But going from where you were last season, where you did a remarkable job of staying up, Danny Roll doing a superb, heroic job really of keeping the club up. I think a stable mid-table finish isn't the worst thing in the world. But, of course, the off-field situation of the club is overshadowing anything that happens on-field. And the way that Chansiri's running the club is a disgrace. And you don't need me to tell you that. And from an Oxford point of view, we've had a horrible, disgraceful owner in the past called Firoz Kassam, and we still have the remnants of his reign involved with the football club, and that's why we play in that three-sided eyesore called the Kassam Stadium. So we do feel your pain. We can empathise with what you're going through, and it's not great. It's horrible to hear things like players not being paid and staff not being paid, and it's always the fans that suffer, and we know you guys are suffering and going through a lot at the moment. So on the field, it's not too bad. Mid-table finish is not too bad, but you do worry for next season of what's going to happen. Is Roll going to leave, and what state is Sheffield Wednesday going to be in at the start of the next championship season? But let me know, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. Good luck for the rest of the season, and hopefully that victory means that we'll be playing you again in the Championship. And that brings me on to Oxford United. What a fantastic victory. It was a great, almost perfect away day. A perfect Gary Rowett away day. But first and foremost, fitting that Sam Long scored the goal. Whenever Sam Long plays, you know you're going to get commitment and effort from Longy. No, he's not the best player in the world. You know he's probably not championship level, but you know he's going to give his heart and soul every minute he's on a field for Oxford United. And the fact that he scored an all-important winning goal, I think just, as I said earlier on in the video, sums up everything of what this club means to him and what this club means to us. And I was glad that Gary Rowett went with Long. He could have gone with Kioso. I actually said before the game to my brother that I hope Long plays, and it is good that Long played, and it's good that Rowett was vindicated with Long starting the game. But he was forced into making some changes. Obviously, we didn't have Kieran Brown. Obviously, we didn't have Terry Vest. But the way that the players played against QPR on Wednesday night, you did need to make some changes to the game. So I think Gary Rowett got his team selection right. I think that the introduction of Mills was good. I thought him and Matos combined really well to drive Oxford up the pitch whenever they could. I thought Matos, his running, his work rate, the way he hassled those Sheffield Wednesday players was immense all afternoon. I thought he was a good shout for man of the match in this game. I was really impressed with him, and I thought Gary Rowett deserves credit for playing him in a sort of a more advanced position ahead of Brannigan and Vaulks. There are still some problems with Oxford playing their way through the third. You see how virtually every other side is so much better technically on the ball, and Oxford kind of still struggle with that. There's sometimes when we get penned in and you wonder, how are we actually going to get out and attack teams? But I would say when they were penned in, Oxford did do well to kind of redress the balance and turn the tide, and maybe it wasn't the most pretty football, but they did at least kind of break up the momentum of the game quite well today, and maybe better than they've done in previous weeks. I'm still not convinced with Goodrum playing on the wing, and I think that Rowett gave Goodrum more of a free rein in the second half, which got him more into the game, made him look more dangerous, and he's had a shot which is cannoned into a Sheffield Wednesday player's arm and should have been given as a penalty. But Goodham's position still his best position for me still remains a number 10. I just don't think Gary Rowett fancies him in that role. The usual guys at the back were solid as a rock. I actually thought Ben Nelson was a little bit suspect, but Jamie Cumming made a big save when needed. I thought Hellick was immense at the back. I thought Joe Bennett was superb as well. There was one block Joe Bennett did in the first half where Sheffield Wednesday looked like they were carving us open. Bennett just came across from left back, made a vital interception in the middle of the goal, and I thought he was fantastic as well, and just shows you what a solid, dependable pro Joe Bennett has been since he's come into the football club. But I will also say I think Gary Rowett made the change at the right time to go to wing-backs. And I thought that made a big difference as well, because it really stifled Wednesday from an attacking point of view. They really could not get down the flanks anymore, and Oxford started to get more and more control of the game. And isn't it weird that Matt Phillips actually looks really good as a wing-back? When he comes on and plays wing-back, you're starting to see the best of Matty Phillips. You're even starting to get some chance from the crowd from Matt Phillips as well. But I actually thought he came up and played well. And Oxford got up ahead of steam. Once Wednesday were unable and looked like they run out of ideas, Oxford really got up ahead of steam in that second half, and you sensed a goal was going to come. You really did. I really sensed that this game was there for the taking. I really just felt if Oxford eventually a ball's going to drop to us and we are going to take a chance. And I was thinking in this game, if we get a goal, I thought we were gonna hang on to it and win it. I just did not see Sheffield Wednesday getting a goal and getting an equaliser if Oxford took the lead, and thankfully we did. So all in all, a wonderful away victory. I will just say thank you to all the people that I did meet at the ground yesterday. Thank you for the people that came up and said they watched the channel and support the channel and had a chat with me. I really do appreciate it. I do just want to highlight Chris, who first of all, I'm glad we agreed that Matos wasn't playing up front. It looked like in some formations that they were going to play Matos as a striker in the game today. I'm glad that wasn't the case. But Chris, who says I give the away team too much credit. Well, Chris, here it is for you. I thought Sheffield Wednesday were largely pretty poor yesterday. And you wanted me to say that the ref was crap. And I will indeed say I thought the ref was crap. There you go. Chris, that is for you. I'm hoping that I actually remembered your name. If I didn't, that just shows you how bad my memory is. But once again, thank you to all you guys that did show your support. I really do appreciate it. Please leave your comments down below. Please hit like on this video. I'll be back to do a review of Oxford's game against Leeds United on Good Friday. That video will either come out on Friday night or on Saturday morning, because it is going to be played late in the evening. But what a win for Oxford United. I think that is us safe. Let me know down below. But of course, I'd like a few more points just to be sure.